Today we shall discuss about the organic chemistry 1, that is first year organic chemistry. First organic, who was the father of organic chemistry means Euler. Who was the father of organic chemistry means Euler. He was synthesized the organic compound from inorganic compounds. That means he was synthesized the urea molecule from inorganic compound. That means from ammonium cyanate, NH4CNO. NH4CNO called as ammonium cyanate. Ammonium cyanate on heating takes place to get urea, NH2CO NH2, urea. It is the first organic compound synthesized in the laboratory. The first organic compound synthesized in the laboratory means urea. It is synthesized from means ammonium cyanate. Ammonium cyanate on heating takes place to get urea. It is the first organic compound synthesized in the laboratory. What is called organic chemistry means organic chemistry, the study of carbon and its compounds. The study of carbon and its compounds called as organic chemistry. First organic compound synthesized in the laboratory means urea. It is synthesized from means ammonium cyanate. Here important questions. What is the carbon hybridization? What is the carbon hybridization in urea molecule? Carbon hybridization in urea molecule. Here carbon surrounded by 3 sigma bonds, 1 pi bonds. 3 sigma bonds. 3 sigma bonds means carbon hybridization is sp2. Here carbon hybridization means sp2. That means carbon has 4 sigma bonds. That carbon hybridization is sp3. Carbon, it is bonded with one double bond, either left side or right side, and 2 single bonds. Carbon bonded with one double bond. That carbon undergoes, that means that carbon has 3 sigma, 1 pi. That carbon hybridization is sp2. Carbon has 2 double bonds, or carbon has 1 triple bond, either left side or right side, 1 single bond. That carbon undergoes, that means these 2 carbons has 2 sigma, 2 pi. That carbon undergoes sp hybridization. What is the hybridization of carbon in urea molecule means? Here carbon attached with one double bond means that carbon undergoes sp2 hybridization. Next one, based on these hybridization we shall discuss about some examples. They are: first one, CH2 double bond CH, single bond CH, double bond CH2. What are the hybridizations of carbon atoms from left to right? That is the question. Here carbon has double bond. That means that carbon undergoes sp2 hybridization. Next, second carbon. It is also has double bond. So second carbon also sp2 hybridized carbon. Next, third carbon. Carbon has one double bond. That means that carbon undergoes sp2. And fourth carbon, here also double bond. So sp2. All are sp2 carbons. Suppose if you take another example, CH2 double bond CH, single bond C, triple bond CH. Here first carbon hybridization is, here carbon has double bond, that carbon undergoes sp2. Next carbon, here also same double bond, it is attached to double bond, so second carbon also sp2 hybridized. Third carbon, it is attached to triple bond, so that carbon undergoes sp. Next fourth carbon, it is attached to triple bond, so this carbon is also sp hybridized. Next, sigma and pi bonds ratios. Sigma and pi bonds ratios. Suppose if we take one example, CH3, CH2, CH double bond CH2. In this molecule, sigma and pi bonds ratios are, that is the question. Here this compound can be written as CH, H, H, next C, second carbon, and it is attached to hydrogen atoms, hydrogen, hydrogen, next third carbon and hydrogen, double bond, C, two hydrogen atoms means H and H. It is the bond line structure. It is the bond line structure. Bond line structure. Bond lines. So these bonds are denoted by lines. So bond line structure. It is the bond line structure. Next, this structure is called as condensed structures. Condensed structures. Next structure, skeletal structure. That means it is the skeletal structure. Skeletal structure. Here sigma and pi bonds ratio means single bond means that should be sigma, 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 sigma. Number of sigma bonds here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 sigma and 1 pi bond. 1 sigma and pi bonds ratio is 11:1. Next, carbon hybridizations are, here first carbon, it is attached to all, it has 4 sigma bonds, so here sp3 hybridized. Second carbon, it has 4 sigma bonds, 1, 2 sigma bonds with 2 hydrogen atoms, so second carbon is also sp3 hybridized. Third carbon, it is attached to double bond, so third carbon hybridization is sp2. Next, fourth carbon hybridization is sp2. sp2, sp3, sp2, sp2. Next one, next concept, hybrid and unhybrid orbitals ratio. Hybrid and unhybrid orbitals ratio. Hybrid and unhybrid orbitals ratio. What is called hybrid orbital means the orbital which is participating in the hybridization, that orbital is called as hybridized orbital. What is called hybrid orbitals means the orbital which is participating in the hybridization, that orbital is called as hybrid orbital or hybridized orbital. Unhybrid orbital, or it is also called as pure orbital. What is called unhybrid orbital or pure orbital means the orbital which is not participating in the hybridization. The orbital which is not participating in the hybridization, that orbital is called as unhybrid or pure orbital. Suppose if you take sp3 hybridized, sp3 hybridized, how many hybrid orbitals are present at sp3 hybridized carbon means 3 plus 1. Here 3 p orbitals, 1 s orbital. So total 4 hybrid orbitals. 4 hybrid orbitals. Here no pure orbitals. How do you calculate the pure orbitals means, suppose if you take carbon atomic number is 6, configuration is 1s2, 2s2, 2p2. If you take ground state configuration is 2s orbital has 2 electrons and 2p orbital has 2 electrons, 1, 2. If you take excited state configuration, this is the ground state configuration of carbon atom. If you take excited state configuration, 1 electron shift towards the 2p orbital. That means here 1 electron, next here single. That means 2s1, this is the 2s orbital, and 2px, this is the 2py and 2pz. Here 2s1, 2px1, 2py1 and 2pz1. Suppose if the carbon atom undergoes sp3 hybridized, here 1 s orbital, here 2 indicates the shell number, here 1 s orbital, 3p orbitals are intermixing to each other to form sp3 hybridized orbitals. sp3, 1 s orbital, 3p orbitals are intermixing to each other to form sp3 hybridized. How many pure orbitals are present in sp3 carbon? That is the question. How many pure orbitals are present in sp3 hybridized carbon? Here no pure orbitals, 0. How many pure orbitals are present in sp3 hybridized means 0. This is the method to calculate the pure orbitals. How many pure orbitals are present in sp3 carbon means 0. Why it is 0 means here all orbitals are involved in the hybridization. So number of pure orbitals at sp3 carbon means 0. Suppose if you take sp2 hybridized carbon, sp2 carbon, how many pure orbitals are present at sp2 carbon? Here sp2 means 1 s orbital, 2 p orbitals are intermixing to each other to form sp2 hybridized orbitals. 1 s orbital, 2 p orbitals. That means carbon outermost shell configuration is 2s1, 2px1, 2py1 and 2pz1. 1 s orbital, 2p orbitals are intermixing to each other to form sp2 hybridized orbitals. Here 2pz or 2p orbital, 1p orbital does not involved in the hybridization. So this orbital is called as pure orbital. How many pure orbitals are present at each sp2 carbon means one sp2 carbon contains one pure orbital. How many pure orbitals are present at sp2 carbon means pure orbitals at sp2 carbon 1. Next, suppose if the carbon atom undergoes sp hybridization, how many pure orbitals are present at sp carbon means what is called sp hybridization means 1 s orbital, 1 p orbitals are intermixing to each other to form sp hybridized orbitals. 1 s orbital, 1 p orbitals are intermixing to each other to form sp hybridized orbitals. Number of pure orbitals at sp carbon means 2. Number of pure orbitals at sp carbon means 2. Suppose if you take one example, this is the method to calculate the pure orbitals. Suppose if you take one example, pure and hybrid orbitals ratio in CH2 double bond CH2. Pure and hybrid orbitals ratio in CH2 double bond CH2. Here carbon hybridization is sp2. First you have to calculate the hybridized orbitals. Here first carbon hybridization is sp2. Next carbon hybridization is sp2. Number of hybrid orbitals in sp2 means 3. Here also same. Each sp2 contains 3 hybrid orbitals. Total hybrid orbitals 3 plus 3. Total 6. 6 hybrid orbitals. Next pure orbitals. Here hydrogen atomic orbitals does not involved in the hybridization. So hydrogen atomic orbitals are taken as pure orbitals. So number of hydrogen atoms here 2 and right side 2. Total 4 hydrogen atoms. That means hydrogen atomic orbitals are pure orbitals. Number of hydrogen atoms here 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 pure orbitals. Next one. Each sp2 contains one pure orbital. Here 1 and 1. 2. That means 4 plus 2. That is equal to 6 pure orbitals. Asked question is pure and hybrid orbitals ratio in CH2 double bond CH2 means first hybrid orbitals 6, hybrid orbitals 6 and pure orbitals 6. So 6:6. That means 1:1. This is the answer. This is the method to calculate the pure and hybrid orbitals ratio. Pure orbitals. How do you calculate the pure orbitals? In simple method means, simple method, calculation of pure orbitals in simple method. Here hydrogen atomic orbitals, all are pure orbitals. So number of hydrogen atoms here 4. So 4 pure orbitals. Next one. Here double bond means 1 sigma 1 pi. Here double bond means 1 sigma 1 pi. Each pi bond contains 2 pure orbitals. Each pi bond contains 2 pure orbitals. So hydrogen atomic orbitals 4 and each pi bond contains 2 pure orbitals. So 4 plus 2 6. This is the simplest method to calculate the pure orbitals. Next concept is types of carbon atoms and hydrogen atoms. Types of carbon atoms and hydrogen atoms. Next concept, simple concept. Types of carbon atoms and hydrogen atoms. Suppose here one carbon atom, one carbon is single. Here 4 monovalent atoms like hydrogens or chlorine atoms. One carbon is single, that carbon is called as primary carbon. One carbon is single, that carbon is called as primary carbon. One carbon is bonded with another carbon. One carbon is bonded with another carbon. Here 3 single bonds with 3 another atoms other than carbon. Next here also same. One carbon is bonded with another carbon. Both carbon atoms are called as primary carbons. One carbon is single or one carbon is bonded with another carbon. Both carbon atoms are primary carbons. One carbon is bonded with 2 carbon atoms. One carbon is bonded with 2 carbon atoms. That carbon is called as secondary carbon. Secondary. Next here, one carbon is bonded with another carbon. That carbon is called as primary. Primary. Next here also same. One carbon is bonded with another carbon. So that carbon is called as primary. Next one carbon is bonded with 3 carbon atoms. One carbon is bonded with 3 carbon atoms. That carbon is called as tertiary carbon. Next here, one carbon is bonded with another carbon. That carbon is called as primary. Here also same primary. Primary. Next one carbon is bonded with 4 carbon atoms. One carbon is bonded with 4 carbon atoms. That carbon is called as quaternary carbon or neocarbon. Neocarbon. Next here, one carbon is bonded with another carbon. So that carbon is called as primary. Here also same primary, primary and primary. These are the types of carbon atoms. Suppose hydrogen present on the primary carbon, hydrogen present on the primary carbon, that hydrogen is called as primary hydrogen. Primary hydrogen. Suppose if the hydrogen atom attached to secondary carbon, that hydrogen is called as secondary hydrogen. Secondary hydrogen, like this. Suppose if we take one example, CH3 and CH2, CH3 and CH3. How many primary, secondary, tertiary, quaternary carbons are present in the following example? How many primary, secondary, tertiary and quaternary carbon atoms are present in the following example? Or how many primary, secondary and tertiary hydrogens are present in the following example? Quaternary hydrogen is not possible. Quaternary hydrogen is not possible. Why quaternary hydrogen is not possible means, one carbon is bonded with 4 carbon atoms. That carbon is called as quaternary carbon or neocarbon. Why quaternary hydrogen is not possible means, here carbon valency is, quaternary carbon valency is 4. So here no possibility. That means here hydrogen attached to carbon atom, here expanded to valency. That means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That means carbon maximum valency is 4. How do you calculate the valency means? Valency. Next simplest topic is valency. What is called valency? The combining capacity of an atom is called as valency. The combining capacity of an atom is called as valency. How do you calculate the valency means? Two methods are there. Two methods. One is based on the reference elements. Based on the reference elements. What are the reference elements to calculate the valency? What are the reference elements to calculate the valency means? Hydrogen, chlorine and oxygen. What are the reference elements to calculate the valency means? Hydrogen, chlorine and oxygen. With respect to hydrogen, number of hydrogen atoms is equal to number of hydrogen atoms is equal to valency. With respect to chlorine, number of chlorine atoms is equal to valency. With respect to oxygen, twice the number of oxygen atoms. Twice the number of oxygen atoms is equal to valency. Suppose if you take one example, CH4, what is the valency of carbon with respect to hydrogen in CH4 means? Here number of hydrogen atoms 4, so valency is 4. Suppose if you take another example, CCl4, carbon tetrachloride. What is the valency of carbon with respect to chlorine in CCl4? 4. CO2. What is the valency of carbon in CO2 with respect to oxygen atom? Twice the number of oxygen atoms means number of oxygen atoms 2. So twice the number of oxygen atoms means 4. Like this. This is the method to calculate the valency. Suppose if you take Al2O3. What is the valency of aluminium with respect to oxygen in Al2O3 means? Here number of aluminium atoms 2, that means 2x is equal to twice the number of oxygen atoms means 3, 3 twice means 6, x is equal to 6 by 2, that is equal to 3. This is the method based on the reference elements to calculate the valency. Second method to calculate the valency. Second method. Second method is from first group to fourth group. From first group to fourth group, group number is equal to valency. Is equal to valency. From fifth group to eighth group, 8 minus group number. 8 minus group number is equal to valency. Suppose if we take one example, oxygen valency is oxygen valency. First oxygen atomic number is 8, configuration 1s2, 2s2, 2p, 4. Here outermost shell electrons 6 electrons. Number of valence shell electrons indicates the group number. Number of valence shell electrons indicates the group number. Here valence electron 6, so it belongs to sixth group. For sixth group, valency is equal to 8 minus group number. 8 minus 6, that is equal to 2. Oxygen valency is 2. Like this. This is the method to calculate the valency. Okay, here carbon valency is 4. One carbon is single, that carbon is called as primary. One carbon is bonded with another carbon, that carbon is called as primary. First carbon is primary. Next, one carbon is bonded with 3 carbon atoms, 1, 2, 3. So this carbon is called as tertiary. One carbon is bonded with 3 carbon atoms, that carbon is called as tertiary. One carbon is bonded with another carbon, that carbon is called as primary. One carbon is bonded with 2 carbon atoms, that carbon is called as secondary. Next, one carbon is bonded with 4 carbon atoms. Here this carbon bonded with 4 carbon atom, so that carbon is called as quaternary. Next, this carbon is called as primary and primary. How many primary carbon atoms are there? Here means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 primary carbon atoms. 5 primary carbon atoms. Next, how many secondary carbon atoms means? 1 secondary carbon. 1. How many tertiary carbon atoms means? How many tertiary carbon atoms means? Only 1. Next, how many quaternary carbons? 1. Next, how many primary hydrogen atoms means? Primary hydrogens. Hydrogen attached to primary carbon or hydrogen present on the primary carbon, that hydrogen is called as primary hydrogen. Here primary carbon atoms 5. Each primary carbon contains 3 hydrogen atoms. 3, 3, 3, 3, 3 like this. 5 into 3, that means 15 primary hydrogens. Next, secondary hydrogens. Here secondary carbon means secondary carbon and 2 hydrogen atoms means 2. Next, tertiary hydrogen atoms. Tertiary hydrogen atoms only 1. Quaternary hydrogen is not possible. That means carbon valency is 4. Like this. This is the method to calculate the primary, secondary carbon atoms and hydrogen atoms. Suppose very important question is there, that is how many quaternary hydrogens are present in neopentane? How many quaternary hydrogens are present in neopentane? How many quaternary hydrogens are present in? Quaternary hydrogens not possible. So how many quaternary hydrogens are present in neopentane means 0. Neopentane structure is neo. Neo means quaternary. Quaternary means one carbon is bonded with 4 carbon atoms. That carbon is called as neocarbon or quaternary carbon. Neo, pent means 5 carbon atoms. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Next, ane means primary suffix. That means all are single bonds. 1, 2, 3, 4. All are single bonds. So this is the structure of neopentane. How many quaternary hydrogens? How many quaternary hydrogens are present in neopentane means 0. Quaternary hydrogen is not possible. How many primary hydrogens are present in neopentane means how many primary hydrogens? How many primary hydrogens are present in neopentane means primary carbon atoms 1, 2, 3, 4. Each primary carbon contains 3 hydrogen atoms. So 4 into 3, that is equal to 12 hydrogens. How many primary hydrogens are present in neopentane means 12. How many quaternary hydrogens are present in neopentanes means 0. Next one. How many quaternary carbons and primary carbons are present in neopentane means this is quaternary carbon and remaining all are primary carbons. So how many quaternary carbons means 1, primary carbons means 4, total 5 carbons, like this. Next concept, classification. Next concept is classification. Classification of organic compounds. Generally, organic compounds are classified into 2 types. One is acyclic or open chain. Second one is cyclic or ring or closed chain structures. One is acyclic, second one is cyclic. Acyclic or open chain organic compounds. Acyclic or open chain organic compounds are again, they are classified into 2 types. One is alkanes are saturated hydrocarbons. Second one is, second classification is unsaturated hydrocarbons. Unsaturated hydrocarbons. Unsaturated hydrocarbons means they contains double bonds or triple bonds. Generally, double bonded compounds are called as alkenes. Second one is alkynes. Triple bonded compounds are called as alkynes. Double bonded compounds are called as alkenes. Single bonded compounds are called as alkanes or saturated hydrocarbons. Saturated compounds. Next one, cyclic compounds. Cyclic compounds again it is classified into 2 types. One is homocyclic or carbocyclic. Here homo or carbo. Cyclic compound with carbon atom only. Cyclic compound with carbon atom. Carbo means carbon. Homo means same atom. Same atom means carbon atom. Next, second one is heterocyclic. That means other than carbon atom. Cyclic compound with other than carbon atom. Heterocyclic. Cyclic compound with other than carbon atom. That means oxygen or nitrogen or sulfur. Next one, Homocyclic compounds or carbocyclic compounds, again they are classified into two types. One is aromatic, second one is non-aromatic. Here aromatic, what are the properties to get a aromatic compound means? Compound must be in cyclic. Second important property is compound must contains conjugative double bonds. What are the properties if a compound gets the aromatic means? Compound must be in cyclic, and second one is compound must contains conjugative double bonds. Next, third property, compound must obeys the Huckel's rule or Huckel's rule. What is called Huckel's rules means 4n plus 2 pi electrons. Compound must contains 4n plus 2 pi electrons. Here n value is integer. That means 0, 1, 2, 3 and so on, whole number other than decimals. Compound must be in cyclic, compound must contains conjugative double bonds, compound must obeys the Huckel's rule, that compound is aromatic. Suppose if you take one example, benzene, it is a aromatic compound or non-aromatic compound or anti-aromatic compound means compound. First property is compound must be in cyclic. Next, compound must contains conjugative double bonds. Conjugative double bond means double bond, single bond, double bond like this. Conjugative double bonds. Alternative double bonds. Conjugative double bonds means alternative double bonds. Here double bond, single bond, double bond, single bond, double bond. Here compound must be in cyclic. This property is obeyed. Next, conjugative double bonds. Compound must contains conjugative double bonds. It contains conjugative double bonds. Next one, Huckel's rule. 4n plus 2 pi electrons. That means generally 4n plus 2 pi electrons is equal to number of pi electrons here 1, 2, 3 pi bonds. That means 6 pi electrons. Here pi electrons get cancelled. 4n plus 2 is equal to 6. 4n is equal to 6 minus 2. N is equal to 4 by 4. That is equal to 1. If the n value gets the whole number, that compound is aromatic compound. That is the method to calculate the aromatic compound. Next, suppose if you take one example, cyclohexane. It is a aromatic compound or non-aromatic compound means it is cyclic, but it does not contains conjugative double bonds and it does not obey the Huckel's rule. So this compound is non-aromatic compound. Compound with carbon atom, so cyclic, homocyclic or carbocyclic, and without aromatic, so non-aromatic compound. Next, aromatic compounds, again they are classified into two types. Aromatic compounds, again they are classified into two types. One is benzenoid aromatic compounds. Second one is non-benzenoid aromatic compounds. Benzenoid aromatic compounds means compound must contains at least one benzene atom. That compound is called as benzenoid aromatic compound. Suppose if you take one example for benzenoid aromatic compound means naphthalene. Naphthalene means double bond, conjugative double bonds. Compound must be in cyclic and it contains conjugative double bonds, and it is the aromatic compound or non-aromatic compound or anti-aromatic compound means generally 4n plus 2 pi electrons is equal to 10 pi electrons. Here pi electrons get cancelled. Then 4n is equal to 8, n is equal to 8 by 4. So it gets it whole number. So it is the aromatic compound and it contains one benzene ring. So it is benzenoid aromatic. Naphthalene is the example for benzenoid aromatic compound. Anthracene is the example for benzenoid aromatic compound. Benzanthracene is the example for benzenoid aromatic compound. Give one example for non-benzenoid aromatic compound means cyclopropynyl cation. cyclopropanyl cation. Cyclo, 3 carbon atoms, root word is prop, and 1 double bond in, and hydrogen is deficient aryl, positive charge means cation. Cyclopropanyl cation. Cyclopropanyl cation is the example for, it does not contain benzene ring, and aromaticity is 4n plus 2 is equal to 2 pi electrons, only 2 pi electrons. That means 4n is equal to 0, then n is equal to 0 by 4. 0 by anything is 0. So if n value gets the 0, that is aromatic, but it does not contain benzene ring. So it is the non-benzenoid aromatic compound. Cyclopropanyl cation is the example for non-benzenoid aromatic compound. Next one, heterocyclic compounds. Again they are classified into 2 types. Here heterocyclic compounds, again they are classified into 2 types. One is aromatic, second one is non-aromatic, non-aromatic. Suppose aromatic, pyridine, generally this compound is called as pyrrole, pyrrole. It is the aromatic heterocyclic compound. Here cyclic compound with nitrogen atom. So it is the heterocyclic compound, and compound must be in cyclic. Okay. Next, second property is compound must contains conjugative double bonds, single bond, and lone pair, single bond, double bond. So it contains conjugative double bonds, and it obeys the 4n plus 2 pi electrons. 4n plus 2 pi electrons is equal to number of pi electrons here 1, 2. Here lone pair, inside the lone pair it is also considered as lone pi bonds. Inside the lone pair, that lone pair, it is also considered as pi electrons. So number of pi electrons here 1, 2, 3 pi bonds. That means each pi bond contains 2 pure orbitals, 2 electrons. Here pi electrons get cancelled. 4n is equal to 4, n is equal to 4 by 4, that is equal to 1. So it is the aromatic compound, but it is a heterocyclic aromatic compound. Pyrrole is the example for heterocyclic aromatic compound. Non-aromatic compound means, suppose if you take another example, this compound is called as heterocyclic and tetrahydrofuran. This compound is called as tetrahydrofuran. It does not contain conjugative double bonds. It is cyclic compound, but it does not contain conjugative double bonds. So this compound is non-aromatic compound. This is the classification. Next concept is anti-aromaticity. What are the properties for anti-aromatic compounds? Means compound must be in cyclic, compound must contains conjugative double bonds, and compound must obey the 4n pi electrons. Suppose if you take one example, cyclo, it is the cyclic compound. So cyclo, bute, 4 carbon atoms, root word is bute, and 1, 2, 3, 4 cyclobute, 1, 3 diene, 2 double bonds means diene. Cyclobute 1, 3 diene. It is the aromatic compound or anti-aromatic compound or non-aromatic compound. Means compound must be in cyclic, it is cyclic compound. Next, compound must contains conjugative double bonds, single bond, double bond. So it contains conjugative double bonds. Next, compound must obey the 4n pi electrons. 4n pi electrons is equal to number of pi bonds here 2 pi bonds. Each pi bond contains 2 electrons. So 4 pi electrons. Pi electrons get cancelled. 4n is equal to 4. Then n is equal to 4 by 4. That is equal to 1. If n value gets the whole number, that means 0, 1, 2, 3 and so on, that compound is anti-aromatic compound. It obeys the 4n pi electrons, so it is the anti-aromatic compound. If the compound obeys the 4n plus 2 pi electrons, that compound is called as aromatic compound. If the compound contains or obeys the 4n pi electrons, that compound is anti-aromatic compound. If a compound does not obeys the 4n pi electrons and 4n plus 2 pi electrons, that compound is non-aromatic compound. Non-aromatic compound. So here cyclobute 1,3-diene is the example for means anti-aromatic compound. Anti-aromatic compound. Suppose if we take another example, cyclooctatetraene, cyclooctatetraene 1, 3, 5, 7 tetraene. It is the IUPAC name. Cyclooct 1, 3, 5, 7 tetraene. It is the aromatic compound or anti-aromatic compound means the compound, it contains 4n pi electrons. That means 4n pi electrons is equal to, first compound must be cyclic, so it is the cyclic compound. Next, it contains conjugative double bonds and it contains 4n pi electrons or 4n plus 2 pi electrons means first you have to calculate the 4n plus 2 pi electrons. 4n plus 2 pi electrons is equal to number of pi bonds here 1, 2, 3, 4. That means 8 pi electrons. Pi electrons get cancelled. 4n plus 2 is equal to 8. 4n is equal to 6. N is equal to 6 by 4. That is equal to get whole number. That means 1.5. So it is not a, it does not obey the 4n plus 2 pi electrons. Here decimal. That means it does not get the whole number. So it is not a aromatic compound. Next, this compound obeys the 4n pi electrons or not. 4n pi electrons is equal to 8 pi electrons. Pi electrons get cancelled. 4n is equal to 8. N is equal to 8 by 4. That is equal to. If the n value gets the whole number, that compound obeys the, that means 4n, this compound obeys the 4n electrons, 4n pi electrons. So this compound is called as anti-aromatic compound. Anti-aromatic compound. This is the method to calculate the aromaticity and anti-aromaticity. Next concept is classification based on the functional groups. Based on the functional groups, organic compounds are classified into several types. They are classification based on the functional group. Classification based on the functional groups. Functional groups. First one, based on the functional groups, organic compounds are classified into several types. First one is carboxylic acids. Carboxylic acids. Carboxylic acid functional group is C double bond O OH. Carboxylic acid functional group is, and general formula is RCOOH. General formula is RCOOH. COOH functional group is carboxylic acid functional group. Second one is aldehydes. Aldehydes. Aldehyde functional group is C double bond OH. Aldehyde functional group. General formula is RCHO. RCHO. Third one is ketones. Ketones. Functional group is C double bond O. C double bond O. Both sides single bonds. That means general formula is RCO RC double bond O R. General formula. Next, fourth one is acetic anhydrides. 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 Anhydrides means CO, 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 anhydrides. General formula is RCO, O, CO, R. General formula. Next, amines. Amines. General formula is, functional group is NH2. NH2. And general formula is RNH2. RNH2. Next one, amides. Amides. Functional group is CONH2. Functional group is CONH2. General formula is RCONH2. General formula is RCONH2. Next, seventh one, cyanides. Cyanides. Functional group is CN. Functional group is CN. General formula is RCN. RCN. Eighth one, isocyanates. Isocyanates. Functional group is NC. And general formula is RNC. Ninth one, esters. Functional group is COO. And the general formula is RCOOR. Next, acid halides. Next one, acid halides. General formula is COX and general formula is RCOX. Acid halides. Next one, this is the 10th one. Next, like this, classification based on the functional groups. Next important topic is nomenclature. Next very important chapter is nomenclature. Organic compounds nomenclature. Before going to the study of nomenclature, you must know about the 5 words meanings. They are nomenclature. You must know about the 5 words meanings. They are, first one is root word. Second one is primary suffix. Third one is secondary suffix. Fourth one is primary prefix. And fifth one is secondary prefix. First one, root word. It indicates the number of carbon atoms present in parent chain. Root word means it indicates the number of carbon atoms present in parent chain. Suppose if the organic compound contains only one carbon atom, then root word is meth. Suppose if the organic compound contains two carbon atoms, root word is eth. 3 carbon atoms, prop. These are the root words. Suppose if the organic compound contains only one carbon atom, then root word is meth. Compound contains 2 carbon atoms, root word is eth. 3 carbon atoms, prop. 4 carbon atoms, but. 5 carbon atoms, pent. 6 carbon atoms, hex. 7 carbon atoms, hept. 8 carbon atoms, oct. 9 carbon atoms, non. 10 carbon atoms, dec. And 11 carbon atoms, undec. 12 carbon atoms, dodec. Like this. These are the root words. Number of carbon atoms and their root words. Next one, primary suffix. It indicates the type of bond between the carbon atoms. Suppose if the organic compounds are in between the carbon atoms, only single bond is there, then primary suffix is. Suppose in between the carbon atom only single bonds, then primary suffix is ane. Suppose if the compound contains only single bonds throughout the molecule, then primary suffix is ane. Suppose if the carbon atom or if the molecule contains one double bond, only one double bond, then primary suffix is ene. Suppose if the compound contains one triple bond, then primary suffix is ine. These are the primary suffix. That means primary suffix, it indicates the type of bond between the carbon atoms. Suppose if the carbon atom, if the compound contains all or single bonds, then primary suffix is "-in". Suppose if the compound contains one double bond, then primary suffix is "-in". If the compound contains one triple bond, then primary suffix is "-ein". That is the primary suffix. Next, secondary suffix. It indicates the main functional group. It indicates the main functional group. This is the very important. This is the very important for objective. Main functional group. Secondary suffix. It indicates the main functional groups. What are the main functional groups? Suppose if the compound contains, suppose if we take some examples, suppose if the compound contains COOH, acid functional group, then secondary suffix is important. Then secondary suffix, if the compound contains acid functional group, then secondary suffix is oic acid. Suppose if the compound contains CHO as a main functional group, then secondary suffix is al. Suppose if the compound contains CO, then secondary suffix is one. If the compound contains CONH2, amide. These are the secondary suffixes. Suppose if the compound contains ester functional group, then secondary suffix is O8. Suppose if the compound contains cyanide functional group, CN, then secondary suffix is, suppose if the compound contains cyanide functional group, then secondary suffix is nitrile. Suppose if the compound contains isocyanide functional group, then secondary suffix is carbylamine. If the carbon compound contains secondary ester functional group, ester is completed. Next, COX, acid halides functional group, then secondary suffix is oil halide. That means if we take one example, COCl, that means here's acid chloride functional group, then secondary suffix is oil chloride, like this, oil chloride. Suppose if the compound contains anhydride functional group, then secondary suffix is oic anhydride, like this. These are the functional groups and their secondary suffixes. Suppose if the compound contains SO3H, sulfonic acid functional group, secondary suffix is sulfonic acid. Next one, these are the secondary suffixes. Next, primary prefix. It indicates the cyclic or acyclic compound. Nature of the compound. Suppose the given compound is cyclic, then primary prefix is cyclo. Suppose if the given compound is cyclic compound, suppose if we take one example, here first carbon, this is the first carbon, second and third, first and last carbon, they are linked with each other. That compound is called a cyclic compound. Suppose the given compound is cyclic compound, then primary prefix is cyclo. Primary prefix is cyclo. For open chain structures, for open chain compounds CH3, CH2 and CH3, for open chain compounds, you should not write the cyclo compound. That means here cyclo is absent. Here first and last carbon, they are linked with each other. That compound is called as cyclo. Here cyclo is the primary prefix. Here it is open chain structure. For open chain structures, primary prefixes are absent. So here no primary prefix. Next, here it is cyclic compound. So here primary prefix is cyclo, like this. Next, secondary prefixes. Secondary prefixes, these are very important. Secondary prefixes means it indicates the substituents are secondary functional groups. This is the main functional group and it is the secondary functional group. Secondary functional group means, suppose if the compound contains two functional groups, one is main functional group, second one is secondary functional group. That is decided by based on the priority order of functional groups. Suppose if you take one example in secondary prefix, here secondary prefixes or indicates the substituents or secondary functional groups. Secondary functional group means suppose if the compound contains two functional groups, one is main functional group, second one is secondary functional group. That is decided by the priority order of functional groups. Next one, secondary prefixes means substituents. Suppose if the compound contains OH substituent, suppose if the compound contains OH as a secondary suffix, that means as a main functional group, as a secondary prefix, as a prefix and as a main functional group. Suppose if the compound contains OH as a main functional group, that means secondary suffix is ol. As a prefix, it is called as hydroxy. As a secondary prefix called as hydroxy, as a main functional group called as ol. Suppose next one, SO3H as a secondary suffix sulfonic acid, as a prefix same sulfonic acid. Suppose CHO, aldehyde functional group, as a suffix al, as a prefix formyl, as a prefix formyl. CO, as a suffix on, as a prefix keto or oxo. CONH2, amide functional group, as a main functional group, as a suffix amide, as a prefix aminocarbonyl, COX, acid chloride functional group, as a suffix oil halide, as a prefix halocarbonyl. Aminocarbonyl, it is also called as carbomyl. It is also written as carbomyl. Next, CN, as a suffix cyano, as a suffix nitrile, as a prefix cyano. NC, that means isocyanide functional group, as a suffix carbylamine, as a prefix isocyano. NH2, amine functional group, as a suffix amine, as a prefix amino. COOR, ester functional group, as a suffix O8, as a prefix alkoxycarbonyl. COOH, acid functional group, suffix oic acid as a prefix, it is a main functional group and it is the top priority functional group. So here no prefix for acid functional group. Next one, OR, ether functional group. As a suffix is option for ether functional group. It is always substituent, that means prefix, that means alkoxy. Ethers are not functional groups. They are always taken in prefixes. Next one, these are the 5 words meanings.